Hello and welcome everyone. It's Rebecca Davison, intuitive coach and mentor and founder of Find Your Bliss. Welcome to day 2 of the Ego Detox Soul Energizer series. It's awesome to have you here. Today's topic is about creating kindness. Now, often when we think about kindness, we think about extending ourselves to other people. But what I'm talking about is kindness towards yourself in the first instance, where all kindness comes from. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard the saying before that all judgment is self-judgment. One thing I see a lot in the energy work that I do with my clients is when people feel bad about themselves or they are experiencing what they deem to be a negative emotion, then they end up judging themselves for it. So it's kind of like a double whammy. They're not feeling on a high vibration anyway, and then they go ahead and judge themselves for having what they consider to be a negative or low vibration feeling. So it's kind of like pouring concrete on a situation. You know, in my work, I refer to the scale of consciousness quite a lot. Now, this was devised by David R. Hawkins, who wrote a book called Power versus Force. And he talks about the scale of consciousness, which was worked out through applied kinesiology, i.e. muscle testing. That if we're holding energetic vibrations such as shame or guilt or apathy, that these are a very low and contracted energetic state. To really increase your consciousness and your happiness levels, we need to become more conscious and expand our energetic frequency and move it upwards. You know, the further we go up the scale, we get to places where we get to maybe neutrality or courage, and then above that we get to love, and then further up the scale, of course, we go to enlightenment. So if we really want to live a high vibrational life, we need to become more conscious. And when we do that, we can recognize that when we judge ourselves for having a low vibration feeling or emotion, then it's a circumstance where we're just making that situation worse. You know, judgment has been described before as kind of holding everything in place and recognizing that when we judge another person, we're judging ourselves. So what does it take to be free of judgment? Well, that's where kindness comes in. You know, kindness is the state where we can bring that loving energy towards ourselves, and then what we bring in, we push out. Of course, you may have heard Wayne Dyer refer to this analogy. He talked a lot about if you're an orange and you squeeze an orange, what do you get from an orange? You get orange juice. So if we are filled with love and we're under a bit of pressure, then what will come out of us is love. But if we're filled with animosity or anxiety or any kind of level of frustration or hatred, then if we squeeze that, that's what's going to come out of us. But you know, one of the hardest things for human beings is their own negative self-talk. You know, I read just recently that who you really are is that person that is with you when you're alone. You know, what is that voice saying to you? Is it uplifting and encouraging and supportive, or does it bring you down? Does it bring you the energy of what it is that you want? So how do we create more kindness in our lives? This is a really small intuitive tweak, but it has a massive impact, because one of our biggest fears is that we're not good enough on some level, that we are broken or defunct, or there is something wrong with us and therefore we're not worthy of receiving love. So my intuitive tweak for today is to write simply on a little post-it note and stick it on your mirror, I am enough. Or some people like to put, I am love. You know, sometimes I think if we're just starting out, when we start to looking at things like affirmations, that it's important to keep it as neutral as possible. Because sometimes when we go for something that it feels too far out of our reach, it feels too far forward. So perhaps right now it is just, I am enough. And enough means that you're content, that you're filled up, that you're in your own energy. So again, just on a post-it note, put it on your bathroom mirror, maybe put it on the fridge. I have mine in front of the sink. So a place where you spend quite a bit of time each day, I am enough. And what that does is that every time you see it, it'll just drop a little drop into that pool of your own self-worth and increase that kindness towards self. Another thing that you can do in regards to creating kindness within yourself is to just return to love as often as possible. You know, if you're having a bad day, sometimes I just say the words, I love. You know, I, love. Some people say, I am love. just to shift you to that higher vibrational energy, to get you back to that place where you're feeling like you're on the right vibration. And it takes mindfulness. It takes a constant monitoring of your own internal state. The other thing that you can do as a small intuitive tweak is just to check in and ask yourself, just like a friend would, how are you doing? How are you feeling? How's your soul doing today? How's your energy? Just asking, like, when you see a friend, that's the first thing they often ask you is, how are you? And so allowing yourself to be honest and to develop that authentic relationship with self by saying, this is how I'm feeling, being honest with yourself and allowing yourself to have those feelings no matter what is present. Loving yourself without judgment, letting go of that. So your intuitive tweaks for today is to get that post-it note up on the mirror, I am enough. When you're feeling a bit blue or a bit down, say the words I love, I love, I love, or I am love, to shift your energy. And the third one being to come back to that space where you're just checking in with yourself, you're checking in with your soul and creating that kind, friendly energy of how are you? How is my soul? Perhaps what does my soul need today? How can I offer some kindness to myself? Or how can my soul show me the energy of kindness towards self today? Monitoring and mastering the self-talk within your mind is often for a lot of people a lifelong practice, but the more you focus on it and expand on it and set the intention that you intend to be kind to yourself, which naturally flows out to other people, then that will become your new reality. So that's your intuitive tweak for today, creating kindness first. Lots of love and light to you. I look forward to journeying with you tomorrow. See you later. Bye.